you ever get that number on your phone, some of you know what I mean when you see that 203 or you see that certain name on your phone, speak on like, oh shit. I hadn't worked for the company, so I know what I was sweating. It's Jerry Briscoe. Sweating. At the time, Barry Windham was just, felt ill for a second, so I thought when Jerry called me something, I didn't want to hear Jerry talk about Barry. I said, oh yeah, by the way, congratulations, you're going to the Hall of Fame. Anybody who knows Mr. Briscoe knows there's a punchline in there somewhere, or something else is going to happen, so I'm sitting in the truck with my wife at the time and going, I'm waiting. He goes, hello? Yes, sir. And he goes, I said, congratulations. And I believe right then, I said, I didn't know what to say to Jerry. I still don't know what to say to Jerry. I'm humble to be here. I thought the only time that Luke Thesz's name would be next to mine is when Stone Cold got a wild hair to do with the Luke Thesz press. Beat me again. But instead, I stand here along with the names of Booker T, Brian Blair, Edge, J.J. Dillon, Jim Ross, Larry the Axe Henning, my friend JBL, Magnum TA, Renee Goulet, Thunderbolt Patterson, Trish Travis, and then the couple of names I'm missing. And I say to you, I don't think I belong in that group. And I'm humble. I've had great teachers and coaches. Gerald Briscoe, Haku, Jack Lanza, JR, Les Thatcher, Tony Gurria, Steve Kern, Dusty Rhodes, Dr. Death Steve Williams, Ricky Steamboat, Dr. Tom Pritchard, Nightmare Danny Davis, the Masked Assassin Jody Hamilton, Jimmy Hart, Arn Anderson, and the list could go on. All these men, for whatever reason, took me under their wing. The men who got me started, Johnny Rodz, my trainer, the unpredictable Johnny Rodz, highly underrated Johnny Rodz. The Boston Bad Boy, Tony Rumble, Hercules Ayala, Chicky Starr, Paul Heyman, Kevin Sullivan, Eric Bischoff, Vince McMahon, Triple H, Paul Levesque. All gave me an opportunity to work on my craft. In 1988, for everybody who doesn't know what year that is, you youngsters, Google it. Quick story, I have to do it. I said I wasn't going to do it, I'm going to do it. We opened the Performance Center, a bunch of suits, as I like to call them, investors, board members came down to Orlando. I'm going to give them the tour. The great Dusty Rhodes is standing next to me. And the gentleman introduced himself, and naturally introduce yourself, and he says, Dusty, who are you? I'm so-and-so. I'm Dusty Rhodes, you asshole. Google me! Later, Triple H was on the phone with me asking me why I let that happen. I said, because he's Dusty Rhodes. Google. In 1988, my dad brought me to a gym. I had a mediocre college experience with football and scholastics. And my dad wasn't going to let me sit around the house, so he brought me to a gym. Sat in that gym and watched a bunch of grown men throwing each other around, hitting ropes and doing all these things. And the man who ran the gym came up to me and said, hey, you're more than welcome to watch, come back anytime. This isn't for you, but you're more than welcome to watch. Didn't know who I was, didn't know anything about me, told me it wasn't for me. For those who know me, on the way home, I told my father I'm going back to that son of a gun. I'm going to pay him $3,500 in cash. I'm going to prove him wrong. My father was mad because he thought he was bringing me to a boxing gym. Not a wrestling gym. So the pink tights threw him off a little bit. But that man was Johnny Rods, and I learned right then from day one what a coach will do to an athlete or a player or a prospect they think has something to offer. They're going to challenge. Johnny Rods challenged me. I took that challenge. 35 years later, I'm standing amongst legends, pioneers, men and women that have inspired me my whole career, and then some. I've carried every lesson, heartache, injury, obstacle, and opportunity with me and used them as a tool. I'm just a kid from New Jersey. Someone gave me a shot. I took advantage of it. You young cats out there, someone's going to give you a shot. Take advantage of it. Whether it brings you to wrestling fame or brings you success in life, give it a shot. I never dreamed of being famous. I didn't even know you could make money in wrestling. Because it took me 5 years to make back the $3,500 investment I made. So everybody's like, yeah, brother, I'm good, brother, nothing. Somebody pay me. A 6-pack and a Snickers ain't cutting it. Probably more 6-packs than Snickers at the time. Wasn't cutting it. I've made lifelong friendships. I've done things that I never thought I'd be able to do. I have people that I can lean on with one pickup. We don't have to see each other every day. We don't have to break bread. We don't have to write letters. Sometimes it's an emoji, sometimes it's a text message. Or even in the middle of Main Street, Orlando, when West Briscoe and I are young and he turns in traffic and people are going, oh no, there's going to be a fight. I look to the men and women that came before me that helped me, and I say thank you. All the lessons I learned in this business have helped me survive life. In 2015, my youngest daughter was taken from me by a drunk driver. I sat home, trying to navigate that, trying to help my daughter navigate it, my son, my wife. And you start to remember the wrestling rules apply. There's going to be something that stops you. There's going to be an obstacle, something that slows you down. And boy, how pissed off would the men be that I rode up and down the road with them talking those lessons if I just like overtake my family. All the lessons of being fortunate enough to work in front of 20,000 people every night, to travel up and down the road with experience and compassion, people leading you, wrestling rules apply. And so now I've spoken to over 100,000 students. We work with law enforcement nationwide. And we know we save one life at a time. And then my daughter makes a difference because wrestling rules apply. You keep going. You get to the show. You make your shot. You put smiles on faces, you put asses in seats. And you get to do it again tomorrow. I needed my daughter, my son, to understand that. Everyone else needs to know what you learn in this business, young cats, goes beyond wrestling if you're smart. If you take it in, take your lumps, find those people who put the time into you. Because it goes past wrestling. But not for me. Wrestling rules apply. Wrestling was there in some of the toughest times of my life. Wrestling got me through a lot of things. It made me an internet darling. There's the humor. When you put me on the gram today, be kind. I wouldn't change a thing, Les. 35 years, I wouldn't change a thing. You get to say hello to JBL or Jerry Briscoe. First thing I did when I got here, I saw Thunderbolt Patterson. I said, oh my God, what the hell am I still doing in this business? And I get to walk up to Thunderbolt Patterson and say thank you. And not talk wrestling, talk life. When my friend walks through the door, when I get to sit with Joe Malenko and laugh over the silly stuff, when Bruce comes out of the truck out of nowhere and I haven't seen him, all you guys say is, oh. I've loved every minute of it. I've been blessed to move forward in a business past the physicality, just in the ring. I've had opportunities given to me, and I've tried to do my best with them. Whether it benefited me or not, I tried to benefit this business. I'll continue to do that. I'm forever grateful to stand here and be in a Hall of Fame. I just wanted to wrestle. I just wanted to prove somebody wrong that I could do it. 35 years later, I'm standing there. Oh, what the hell? My son never saw wrestling, but he got an idea this weekend of who we are. And he's never going to give it back to Jerry Briscoe again, by the way. I got my nephew sitting here and trying to figure out why people come up to his Uncle Bill and shake his hand. Don't tell him what I do, dude. So there's 4 people I need to thank more than anybody who got me here. It's my wife, my daughter Casey, my daughter Carrie, and my son Billy. They're the ones who had to tough out my career. They're the ones who had to live with my decisions. Thank God they stayed with me. And if you ask any one of them, if you talk to them later, what's the rules of my house? Wrestling rules apply. There's some great men and women in this room. And some that aren't in this room. It's a good pause, right? They should have let me talk a lot more when I was on the road. They don't think this was over. I just want to say thank you to the Hall. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for everyone. Thank you to the fans. Thank you for sharing with me this weekend what we did together. And I hope service. God bless you. Be safe. Thank you